Many thanks for joining us for this edition of Channel 1 Lunchtime News on this 7th day of May 2018. My name is Edward Kabasa. Our sign language interpreter this afternoon is Steve Ndunde. You can interact with us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on Twitter, KBC Channel 1 on Facebook. Our SMS line is 22160. Welcome to the program. At least 15 people, including a Class 4 pupil, have died in Samburu County as heavy rains continue to wreak havoc. More than 700 heads of cattle have also been swept away by flood waters. The area governor, Moses Kulal, says the county administration is working with the national government to avert further loss of life and property, even as he called on residents in flood-prone regions to move to higher grounds.
It has been testing times owing to the ongoing heavy rains that has left in its wake a trail of destruction in the recent weeks. At least 10,000 households have been affected by the ongoing floods, while others have lost lives, property destroyed, and the humanitarian situations worsens with calls for relief food and medicine. A situation that is replicated in Samburu County, where at least 15 people lost their lives, while pastoralists lost nearly 700 cattle. The area governor, Moses Kulal, is now appealing to the residents to remain on high alert.
We've had also quite a number of landslides, particularly in the sites of Wamba, and we estimate that if the rains continue, we'll lose more lives. We've mobilized people to move to higher grounds, but we have very little to do in terms of the effects on livelihood, particularly on livestock.
The county boss further added he's working with national government through National Drought Management Authority to help affected families and offer relief supplies.
We've also partnered with some of our local NGOs, but we'll continue to appeal for more backup, particularly from the national government, from the mainstream international NGOs, for the affected families, particularly in terms of evacuation, in terms of support, and establishment of the structures.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Kaltun Jama.
Thank you very much, Kaltun, for that report and an update on that. At least 15 people, including Class 4 pupil, died in Samburu County as the heavy rains continue to wreak havoc. Of course, that is a story that we are keeping you up to date with. More details will be coming to you with regards to that in our subsequent bulletins. In other security matters, at least 7 KDF soldiers have been killed and 2 others sustained serious injuries following an attack in Dobli along the Kenya-Somali border. The soldiers were killed on Sunday evening after a military vehicle they were traveling in ran over an improvised explosive device. The vehicle was part of a convoy on patrol when the explosion happened. The Somali rebel group Al-Shabaab has not claimed responsibility for the attack. The soldiers were reportedly heading to a military base in Dobli in Somali's lower Juba region when the incident occurred. KBC County political leaders are warning of a possible disaster owing to operations at a quarry which they say is posing an environmental and health risk. The leaders are demanding the county government shuts the quarry with immediate effect and an environmental impact assessment be undertaken.
KBC County leaders are questioning the safety of a quarry owing to the ongoing blasting of stones at a quarry in Nyamonema Gesure Nyangiti location, which they argue is posing danger to the locals. The leaders claimed the blasting was causing houses to crack owing to the tremors, as well as residents were inhaling dust from the quarry, posing a health risk. The leaders accused the quarry's management of impunity in demanding an entry permit for one to access the quarry. The leaders are demanding clarification on the licensing regulations in place, arguing the quarry was flouting the law.
Your license, in as long as that is injurious and inimical to the welfare of the people surrounding that region or that area, you must go back and seek further clarification. Environmental assessment, impact assessment, does not mean that you disturb people.
The governor has pledged to dispatch environmental officers to the quarry to assess the situation.
A section of contractors in Embu County want the county government to cancel over 100 contracts awarded recently. The contractors claim due diligence was not done in the procurement process, and some county officials colluded with crooks after getting kickbacks. The contractors now want the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to audit all contracts and prosecute those who might have violated the law.
Contractors from Embu County claim that county officers have formed a cartel to award tenders to their associates and the proxy companies they have formed, hence denying equal opportunities to those who have qualified while observing the procurement rules. The contractors are now calling on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to intervene, claiming 100 tenders awarded 2 weeks ago were given to only 5 contractors whose qualifications for the works are questionable. The contractors who vowed to meet Embu County Governor Martin Wambora to express their concerns have vowed to instigate legal proceedings against the corrupt county officers, claiming they have not been paid for the work they did for the county government 2 years ago. Mbeti North MCA Peter Mureithi promised to take up the matter with the County Assembly's Committee on Infrastructure.
The Kericho County Government has embarked on the repair of roads following heavy rains that rendered roads there impassable. Governor Paul Chepkwon says funds have been set aside towards construction of tarmac roads to ease transportation of goods to the market from rural areas. At the same time, he launched the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of an airport in Kericho and a borehole drilling machine, which are expected to drill 4 boreholes per week within a target of digging 700 boreholes in the next 4 years to ensure access to water.
Leo niko hapa na ninasindua hii barabara, na hii ni kuonyesha kwamba barabara zote za Kericho County zitaanza kujengwa, na tutaweka nguvu yote kuhakikisha kwamba kila barabara tunasindua, tunaiunda kwa ile njia inatakikana. Kupanuliwa mita 9, kuwekwa mara ya kutosha, na kukanyaga na kumwaga maji. Hiyo ni kumaanisha ni lazima tuweke canvas.
Jomvu Member of Parliament Badi Tualib wants locals to take education of their children seriously if the rate of criminality in the region is to be tamed. Tualib claims idle youth in the area are terrorizing locals, and parents should purpose to ensure their children get education to better their future.
Jomvu Member of Parliament Badi Tualib urged residents and leaders to put political differences aside and join him in bringing development to the area, promising to give the education sector priority as a way of building the future of the young generation.
Ni elimu peke yake ambao ndio urithi tutaweza kuwapatia watoto wetu, ndivyo masivyo? Kwa hivyo mimi nasihi watoto wetu wote wafanye bidii katika masomo yao, wajiepushe na mambo ya madawa ya kulevya, wajiepushe na mambo ya mimba za mapema.
Tualib has promised to ensure transparency in the allocation of Constituency Development Fund, that is CDF, bursaries to needy learners.
Every 4 minutes is a chance for you to win big with Mega Dollar. Just go to Lipa na M-Pesa, enter paybill number 295888, account name KBC, and amount from 10 shillings or more. Then select your 10 numbers from 1 to 80 and send to 29588. You can win up to 30 million shillings. Start playing now and win. Mega Dollar. Big winners every 4 minutes.
This week on KBC Channel 1.
And they could also come after your daughter.
Remember the girl that you kidnapped? Okay. Well, I want to give her another scare, but really serious. I want to remind her mother who I am.
The 844 syllabus is okay, but the way the content is put is the problem.
Why are we trying to be so nonchalant about something as important as education?
What if mom hata iniongelesha forever?
I wouldn't worry about that. Soon atafanya kitu hii ya deni itakuwa inahitaji forgiveness yako.
Vote for KBC Channel 1 as your favorite TV station for the Kuza Broadcasting Awards 2018. SMS the word Kuza to 15601. It's absolutely free. Voting ends on 9th May. Vote, vote, vote.
This is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. If you're just joining us, thank you very much. Cases of cattle rustling are a common phenomenon among pastoralist communities. Herders are forced to carry around guns and other lethal weapons to safeguard their livestock in the grazing fields. But while the lure of stealing to gain status in the community is real, some men in the frontier counties have decided to use the guns to protect livestock instead. These are the National Police Reservists, commonly referred to as KPR. Ron Clifford visited West Pokot and Baringo counties to experience firsthand the encounters of the civilian cops, and now brings you the story of the unsung heroes.
One might confuse this for a scene in a Hollywood movie. But this is Kambi Karaya near Kainuk along the volatile Turkana-West Pokot border. This is a region that has been in the news for all the wrong reasons. A region bedeviled by incidences of cattle rustling. I accompanied a group of Kenya Police Reservists who are leading security forces in recovering stolen cattle from rustlers deep in the rough terrain. Now, this exercise is not for the faint-hearted. The officers work in risky situations. The terrain is harsh and the sun is unforgiving. Clad in their jungle uniform, they clutch their guns, ready to defend. Gunshots fill the air as the KPR lead the Kenya police officers in repulsing the bandits. And then it is all smiles as the recovered loot is escorted back to the village. These are Kenya Police Reservists, KPR. They can be directly credited for the reduction in the number of attacks among the pastoralist communities here in West Pokot. Yet they remain uncelebrated.
Sisi KPR tuko na kazi ngumu sana. Kazi ya kuchunga watu na kuchunga mahali. Na serikali mpaka saa hii hatuja kukumbuka sisi mpaka saa hii. Sisi tu tunakufa.
Clement Pogisio, a reformed bandit, is the county commander of the KPR in West Pokot. He resides in Nasokol village, West Pokot County, and he was part of our mission to repulse bandits and recover the stolen cattle in Kambikaraya. As the head of the police reservist in West Pokot County, Pogisio is in possession of a licensed firearm and full uniform, thanks to the recently revised KPR program.
Wakati mwingi tunalemeana because we are from the same village. So tungependa serikali tupatie nguvu ya kuwa na risasi ya kutosha na bunduki za kisasa kusudi tupate kuencounter hii watu.
But not all KPR officers have uniforms or licensed firearms. Some have to acquire their own.
Unapikana mpaka risasi mbili. Ukienda kuripoti hapa kwa polisi, kesho wewe utapatia watu 8. Ijaze na ile mbili inabaki ni 10 yote. Hiyo 10 haiwezi fanya kitu.
The Kenya Police Reservists live among locals in their native villages, hence they understand the terrain.
Kitu kifanyika mara moja tuko pale na tunajua routes sana. Ndio tunajua pale kama tunasikia area fulani mara moja tumeingia pale.
To assemble such an operation, the county commander KPR mobilizes officers by calling them on their cell phones, and they quickly assemble to get ready to move.
Kujitolea hii kazi kwa sababu area ilikuwa mbaya sana na China sa Pokot ilikuwa mbaya sana. Wapokot Wesi, Baringo inasikika kila mahali.
Wenzetu pande wa Turkana wakanyemelea hao watu 8, wakanyemelea watu 2. Akawawa pale na mabunduki zao wakachukuliwa hao wajambazi.
In the new KPR program launched by the Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet, KPR officers will now be given uniforms apart from being issued with licensed firearms. This will enable them better their service to the communities.
Wale wa reserve, mpango yetu tumetengeneza sawa vile sheria imewekwa, vile mmekuwa recruited, vile mmepewa nguo za serikali, silaha za serikali na mtalipwa mshahara yenu vile serikali imesema, vile sheria imesema.
KPR was formed in 1948 to assist the regular police in the maintenance of law and order. Currently, the KPR exists in rural areas of Kenya, in Samburu, Turkana, West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, Laikipia, Baringo, Lamu, and Tana River counties. In November 2012, over 42 police officers were brutally killed in Baragoi, Samburu County, while in pursuit of 450 cattle stolen from Samburu herders by raiders from the neighboring Turkana County. 2 years later, in October of 2014, at least 22 police officers and 3 civilians were killed in an early morning attack by suspected Pokot bandits in Kapedo, Turkana County. And sadly, in both cases, many blamed the officers for being unfamiliar with the terrain.
Ukiimplement hiyo mpango ati mumepewa uniform nzuri na silaha ni ya kuchunga jamii yote.
But now these KPR dress like police officers, act like police officers, chase like police officers, even arrest like police officers. But sadly, they are never trained nor paid like police officers.
Na mpaka saa hii serikali hatujapatia hata mshahara hata shilingi 10. Kusema tu KPR mkuje mchukue hiyo shilingi 10 upelekee watoto Beremende.
In the meantime, the government has enrolled all KPR to a monthly stipend of 5,000 shillings. While 5,000 remains way too little for the risks involved, the KPR believe theirs is a sacrifice to the country, only hoping that one day the government will appreciate their efforts even more. To these uncelebrated heroes, I salute. But in a country where hashtags are created, trended, and hopefully not forgotten, their sacrifice should not go unrecognized, uncelebrated, or untold. For KBC Channel 1, I'm Roncliffe, OD.
Thank you very much, Roncliffe Odette, for that report. President Uhuru Kenyatta and visiting Ethiopia Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed are currently holding bilateral talks on diplomatic engagements. Abiy, who is in the country for a 2-day state visit, was early Monday accorded a full state honor that included a 19-gun salute. The two countries are currently engaged in finding lasting peace both in South Sudan and Somalia. The two leaders will later hold a joint press briefing on the ongoing bilateral engagements.
Considered Ethiopia to be a brother in all ways. We have collaborated from before our independence, where Ethiopia played a critical role in assisting Kenya gain her independence, to the post-independence period, where again we have collaborated firmly on matters economic, on matters security, Ethiopia being the first country that Kenya signed a defense pact with, a relationship that has ensured that despite the fact that we live in a turbulent region, we ourselves have never stepped aside from each other. We have always been together, and neither have we ever had reason for conflict. I think this is a clear indication that truly we are not just neighbors, but we are brothers.
Foreign Affairs Chief Administrative Secretary Ababu Namwamba now says the debate on succession politics is in bad faith. Ababu instead has called on politicians to help in reconciling the country after the divisive 2017 general election.
Speaking when he officially closed the Naivasha Trade Expo that was organized by Naivasha Youth Platform, Namwamba said the ongoing debate centered around the 2022 succession was not held for the country. Elsewhere, Turkana Governor Josephat Nanok has contradicted opposition leader Raila Odinga on his calls to have 3-tier system of governance that would introduce regional or provincial level.
Hii maoni inataka kuchukua serikali ya kaunti na kupeleka katika province zisimamiwe huko ni maoni aina gani? Hiyo ni maoni inapenda mtukana? Ni maoni inapenda mtukana?
Nanok has also opposed the plans to amend the constitution to create more political positions.
Wacha ikae kwanza tukimaliza miaka 5, 10, 15, 20. Tuzungumze sasa vile tutabadilisha tutengeneze. Lakini saa hii ni mapema.
Kirinyaga professionals living in Mombasa have in the meanwhile faulted retired President Daniel Moi for the recent fiasco between him and Deputy President William Ruto last week.
Na ni viongozi tu kama our retired President Daniel Arap Moi akiomba msamaha kwa deputy, basi itakuwa imeonekana kwamba nchi na amani kama vile kielelezo cha president kilikuwa kule parliament.
The group has in the meantime thrown its support for Deputy President Ruto 2022 presidential quest. Samson Kitavi, Lunchtime News.
And now to news making headlines beyond our borders, where Vladimir Putin will be sworn in on Monday for a 4th term as president of Russia after winning the election in March. Putin has been in power for 18 years as president or prime minister, and opponents have likened his tenure to the reign of an emperor. Putin's inauguration at the Kremlin in Moscow is likely to be more low-key than in 2012. The ceremony coming just days after the arrest of Alexei Navalny, who was barred from contesting in the poll. Putin was first elected as president in the year 2000 and renewed his 4-year term in 2004 before stepping aside in 2008 to serve as prime minister under his protege Dmitry Medvedev, because by law he could serve only 2 consecutive terms. Putin, 65, is expected to meet only volunteers who took part in his election campaign after taking the oath of office. And back home, a priest in Rapogi Parish has left his congregation in admiration after he changed the mode, or after he moved to change the mode of preaching. Father Paul Ogalo, who hit the social media recently over his unique preaching style, led the entire mass in hip-hop music style to the astonishment of the congregation.
Faithful of Rapogi Parish were treated to a rare show of celebrating the Sunday Mass service after the presiding priest turned to rapping to preach.
Because he has already managed to bring so many youths into the church, he has a very unique way of preaching, and he always urges people to love church, especially the youths, because as we look at our lives today, we find that most youths are a bit far from the church. So normally he brings the youths close to the church, and he has a form of after the mass, and normally during the end of the mass, he raps to the youths.
Father Paul Ogalo, who hit the social media recently over his unique preaching style, tailored to the youth, customized his preaching that seems to blend well with the youth attending the service.
The community where I come from, they already know this because I've been doing it. I've been doing it for a long time, though off radar, and I've gotten a lot of congratulations from people, and especially the young people, and even the elderly people. They know me because I empower them to do the work.
Ogalo, who was born and bred in Rapogi, says his new style is a tribute to those who perished in 2007 Carnival Stampede, including a young, brilliant boy who hailed from St. Paul's Rapogi Secondary School. Father Ogalo, commonly known as Paul Swift, Paul sees world in turmoil, says he went through his unique route to remain relevant to the young generation who needs molding the practice godly ways.
It's the month of May, and the Holy Father's message and intention is that people may respond to their challenges with some degree of creativity. And therefore, we have the challenge of climate change, we have the challenge of poverty, we have the challenge of drug abuse that is taking a toll on the junior citizens and also tearing families apart. So it is very fitting that we try to help young people to understand what life is and also to use art to evangelize the world.